that I don't love you anymore, now that there's no one outside my door, now that I can't find you anywhere, ever since our love became despair, 'cause you were never there, never there. Now that I don't love you anymore, since you kicked my heart down to the floor, now that I can't.
My name is Santiago. I'm the owner of Batisfera Libros, which is one side of the space. We have a cafe on one side and then a bookstore on the other. We opened the store about 2.5 years ago, in October 2018, in El Cabanyal, in Valencia, and here we are. Y vemos si se pueden cargar.
Vale. A ella es que le gustan mucho los mangas y dice, a ver si tenías,
Sí.
porque es...
I want you to
Well, one of the things that makes this bookstore a bit different is that we have books in many languages. We have books in English and in French and Spanish and Valenciano and Italian and some German, some Portuguese as well. And then another thing that I think is quite unique is that we have a mixture of second-hand books. Most of our stock is in second-hand, and then we also have the new releases that excites us the most, so we stock some new books as well. So one of the last books I've read is Las cosas que perdimos en el fuego, or in English, Things We Lost in the Fire, by Argentinian author Mariana Enriquez. And it's a collection of short stories that are a mixture of psychological horror, terror, a bit of fantasy. They're always very anchored in reality as well, and they're pretty creepy and pretty unsettling, and they're also very well written, so I highly recommend it.
I want you to know that I don't care.
Since the pandemic started, it's been obviously a weird time for everyone in an individual level, and as a business there's been obviously some drawbacks, like being forced to be closed, etc. But in other ways it's been really good, because as soon as people were allowed out, bookstores were one of the first places I feel a lot of people wanted to go back to. And also we realized that we had a very nice community of people here in El Cabanyal that are supporting us and helping us through this time, and that's a nice realization. So that's one of the good points to take out of the whole thing.
Never there. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Few things that I think are special about bookstores in general. One of the things is that it's a business, obviously. There's a business side of it, but it also has kind of, it's also you're kind of giving people a fantasy and giving people I don't know if a special place, but a cozy place to kind of get away from the what's happening outside. So it's kind of I don't know, like an island in a way. And another thing that I like, and this is in Spanish, but there's a friend from here who's also a bookseller, and we were talking about the definition of librería, which is the word for a bookstore in Spanish. And he was saying it's the place where you go to be libre, which is you go to be free. So that's something I like too about bookstores in general. So Batisfera is kind of the grandfather of the submarine. It's an old device that they used to go into the I don't know what depth it is, but the dark waters, and it was invented in the 30s, and it was basically just a ball with the big glass, and two people could get inside and they would just lower it into the dark waters, and we like the idea because it's like as I was saying, kind of a safe place to discover new worlds. And there's another thing about bookstores, which in my experience, I've worked in quite a few different independent bookstores in Europe and in Argentina, where I'm from, and people tend to fall in love with a specific bookstore. Often the one they're traveling or they're seeing they're in a new place. But I think it's always important to remember that there are independent bookstores around you, and there's probably, wherever you are, there's probably like a nice little bookstore that you can go visit and support. So, you know, keep an eye out for that.
Ever since our love became despair, 'cause you were never there, never there. Now that I don't love you anymore, since you kicked my heart down to the floor, now that I can't find you anywhere, ever since our love became despair, 'cause you were never there, never there, never there, never there. I want you to know that I don't care. The world needs to know that I think it's fair, that you were never there, never there, never there.